I'm Jennifer. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about abstract thinking, looking for patterns, and then using the skill that we find to look at the different patterns and find what patterns there are to be able to look for things that might be missing in a pattern. Let's get started. Take a look at this picture. What do you see? Can you look at this and find a pattern? Let's break it down a little bit so that we can find the pattern here. In this particular instance, we have two different types of things going on. We have shapes and we have colors. Let's look at the colors first. We see red, blue, yellow, red, blue, yellow. So we're definitely seeing a pattern repeat. And then we have red, blue. What would come at the end? Well, based on the pattern that we see, first a red, a blue, and then a yellow, and then again a red, a blue, and a yellow, we're seeing that a red and a blue should be followed by a yellow. So that last element there should be something yellow. What do you think? Do you see that? Let's put that to use again, looking for the shapes. We have a triangle, a square, a circle, a triangle, a square, a circle. Do you see a pattern? Do it along with me. If we have a triangle and a square, based on that first two sets of shapes, we should be looking for a circle. Am I correct? Let's put those together. So if we're looking at a red triangle, a blue square, a yellow circle, a red triangle, a blue square, a yellow circle, then putting those elements together, a red triangle, a blue square, should be followed by a yellow circle. Do you see it? Patterns can be found in lots of different ways. This particular instance was with shapes and colors, but let's look at it with numbers. This time, follow along with me and see if you can find the pattern before that I do. Here we have numbers. We start with the first set, 3, 2, and 5. The second set is 4, 3, 7. And then we have a 5 and 4, and we're looking for that third number. Look for the relationships between the numbers. In this particular example, we don't have colors and shapes. We only have one element that we're looking at, and that's the numbers. So when we're looking at items like this, we need to try to figure out the relationships. Sometimes the relationships are very complex, sometimes they're easy. Look at the first step. Do you see a relationship between those numbers, 3, 2, and 5? What do you think? Well, what I see is that 3 plus 2 equals 5. There's definitely a relationship there. But we don't know if the rest of the pattern follows along with that. So we need to examine the second set to see if we see something similar. So in the second set, we have a 4, a 3, and a 7. Are those numbers related? Well, 4 plus 3 does equal 7. Is that the same relationship that we saw in the first set? 3 plus 2 equals 5. 4 plus 3 equals 7. We definitely have a pattern. The pattern is that the first number in each group and the second number in each group equals the third number in each group. So how do we put that together to figure out what that third group of numbers should be? We have a 5 and a 4. If we use the same properties that we found in the beginning pattern, 5 plus 4 equals 9. So the final numbers based on the pattern that we saw in the relationships in the first set and again in the second set would be 5, 4, and 9 because the first number and the second number added together equal the third number. So those are two different ways that you can use patterns. What are some other ways that you can think of patterns that might show up in your life? It's not always something of this nature. You can use it when you are examining your phone bill, looking for things that might come up sequentially that help you to decide maybe how you went over your phone bill. You can find it in your favorite mystery book when you're looking for patterns that might have happened between the characters, repetitious relationships, to help you decide what might be next. There's other ways to use this information. How else can you use that skill to help you when you're looking at patterns? One way would be able to use those same ideas on the relationships between things to figure out what might be wrong in a pattern. Let's look at this. So we have our shapes and our colors back. Let's examine the relationships, looking again at the colors first. We have red, blue, yellow, red, blue, yellow. So we're seeing some repetition. But then we have, after that yellow, a blue and a red. That's not the same. Let's look at the shapes. Triangle, square, circle. Triangle, square, circle. Definitely a pattern. And then square and triangle. So using the information that we already know about relationships, how do we decide what's wrong with this particular pattern? Well, based on the first two sets, we know that a triangle, that's red, a blue square, and a circle, that's yellow, should then be followed by a triangle, that's red, which would come next would be a blue square, and then a circle, that's yellow. So what we see is that at the end, the pattern has been deviated from. A circle that's yellow should not be followed by a square that's blue. It should be followed by a red triangle. So we can definitely figure out what's wrong with this pattern by using the relationships that we know about the beginning part of the pattern. How else are some things that you could use this information in your life? Can you find what's wrong with patterns by looking at those relationships? You can now, because you know to look for what is similar. What do you see first? What do you see second? And then how does that deviate from the rest of the pattern? You know that you can look at the relationships between things to help to decide what that relationship might be going forward. Again, try this out at home. Think of some patterns on your own. What comes next? How else can you use this information in your life? Can you transfer those skills to other patterns that you might be looking at? When I'm at home and I'm looking for what might have happened in a given situation with my children, I start looking for the patterns. Sometimes if I'm looking for something that might be missing, I'll look for the patterns and then I'll see how the next step might be different. Have fun using this information and finding other ways to apply it in your life. Thank you.